What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, in this video, we have a lot to talk about since I got a late start on the week. But some of the highlights includes what people are calling a first look at the Air Jordan 11 Gamma. So I need to give you guys an update on that shoe later on in the video. As well, we have a couple updates for spring 2026 Air Jordan release dates, as well as release dates this month, one for the A Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3 for the Love, and potentially one for the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 in navy. Now, there's a lot more from Jordan Brand in this video. Mainly, this video is full of news from Jordan Brand, but there's also a good amount from Nike. And now, let's jump into the news. Nike is dropping another Air Force One Low for Easter. This pair is known as Easter Basket. Now, this pair comes dressed in a Summit White, Glacier Blue, Mint Foam, Hydrangeas, I believe that's how you pronounce it, I can never get it right, and Light Chocolate colorway. Now, this pair represents Easter a lot more in comparison to the previous one. Now, on the panels and toe box, we have a basket weave, which obviously represents baskets to collect eggs. On the tongue label, we have some grass and eggs hiding behind it. On the inside of the tongue, we have a cracked egg with the Nike logo. And the insoles also feature fake grass that you would see in an Easter basket. Now, it also comes with shiny accents of green and blue, which reflects dyed eggs. And then the brown accents is for chocolate. Now, as for a release date, this pair is expected to drop on April 17th, and the retail price will be $160. CDG is dropping 3 colorways of the Nike Sense 96, and I believe I showed these off in a previous video. It was quite some time ago, but more importantly, we have the release date, and it appears that, at least for the first drop, they're going to be hard to obtain, because they're only going to be available at Dover Street Market. Now, there is a possibility a wider release could happen because official images did leak, but that isn't confirmed. But we have one pair in black and white. It's more of like a black and gray. The second pair comes dressed in Summit White and black. And then the third features pink, white, and black. Now, if you want to grab one or multiple pairs, they're going to drop on April 10th via DSM. And the retail price will be $230 each. Now, most of you know I never was a fan of the Nike Dunk Low Panda. That shoe received way too much hype. I think what I disliked about it the most is that they were reselling. It's a simple shoe, and I get why people do like them, because it's simple, it's easy to match, but I'll never understand it. Anyways, for 2025, we have the Nike Dunk Low SC Panda releasing, and this pair is a little bit different. Actually, it's a lot different in comparison to the OG Panda. Now, it does come in your traditional white and black colorway. Now, the overlays, which are done in black, feature a glossy finish, but if you look closely, it has a unique design across it. It somewhat resembles like stone or even marble, but it's somewhat subtle. Now, Nike is leaning into the whole Panda nickname of the shoe because on the inside of the tongue, there is a panda debossed. Now, below it, it reads EST, established 1985, which pays tribute to the 40th anniversary of the Dunk, which I'm a bit surprised Nike isn't doing more to celebrate the 40th anniversary. They also have like a gradient across the laces, which is done in white and black, and then a white midsole and a black rubber outsole completes the look. Now, at the time of recording, this pair is expected to drop on August 1st, and the retail price will be $125. Although not the best viewing, we do have a preview of the upcoming NIGO Nike Air Force 3 Low, known as White Croc. Probably the most simplest of all the Air Force 3s in collaboration with NIGO, and the pair features a white, metallic gold, and Summit White colorway. Now, as you can see, the pair features white Croc skin across the overlays. Now, the toe box will feature leather with perforations, the tongue will be in mesh, and then we have gold detailing on the tongue branding. Now, I'm sure there's going to be more gold detailing, but unfortunately, we only have a couple images. Now, what's unique about this pair, and I'm sure everybody sees it, is that the shoes come with a chain and pendant in gold with diamonds. One of them reads Nike and has the swoosh, and the other reads OGIN, and it also has a swoosh. Now, although we don't have a specific release date, they are expected to drop summer 2025, which means a release could take place between April, so any time now, in June, and the retail price will be $150. Recently, I received some exclusive information and I dropped it on Sunday in preparation for the video that I was supposed to drop on Monday, but unfortunately some things came up, so the video was delayed. But Chet Holmgren will drop 2 Nike KD 18 PEs in spring 2026. Now, what's shown is just a mock-up. I just grayed out the KD 18, the liquid lime pair, and then just threw a picture of Chet in the background. Now, one pair will come dressed in space purple, multicolor, and pure purple, and then the second pair will feature Phantom and Canteen Black. Now, although I don't know what these two are going to look like, more than likely they're going to have details connecting to Holmgren, maybe even a logo, as well as KD's logo. Now, in the past, Chet has been seen wearing the KD line. He seems to be a big fan of KDs. And I know Nike has been releasing more PEs, so this collab does make sense to me. Now, as for a release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but spring 2026 is when they're expected to drop, and the retail price is currently unknown. A while back, I went over one of the colorways of the Patta Nike Air Max 90 Waves. At that time, we didn't know the color description or anything like that. We do have a bit more information, but as well, there is a second pair that recently leaked. So I'm going to showcase both pairs and briefly talk about them. So now the pair we initially saw is being called Sapphire, and that is due to the colorway, which is particle gray, neutral gray, sapphire, black, coconut milk, and white. Now the new pair is known as Cyber, and of course, again, that is due to the colorway, which is particle gray, neutral gray, cyber, black, coconut milk, and white. So the color blocking on the two is the same. The only difference is the shade of green used on one pair and then the shade of purple used on the other. But the highlight of this shoe, instead of the signature mudguard, it's like a wave pattern, which was seen across Patta's Air Max 1 collabs. Now the window on the side, which typically reads Air Max, will read Patta, and Patta branding also lands on the tongues. The Cyber pair kind of reminds me of the Chlorophyll Air Max 1 just due to the colors. Of course, it's not spot on, but it kind of reminds me of it. Now, initially, the two were expected to drop spring 2025, but now they're going to drop summer 2025. So maybe within the next month or two, we could see a release, and the retail price will be $150 each. We have a potential release date for the Nike Air Max Uptempo 95 Lakers. Now, the only reason why I say potential is because only one, maybe two release calendars have popped up with this pair, so there is a possibility it could still be delayed. But this pair is tied to Derek Fisher, who wore the pair in 2002. And then the last time we saw the shoes drop was in 2019. Now, it seems that the Nike Air Max Uptempo 95 does have some hype for them. Now, although this is not an OG colorway, this is definitely a popular one. And as for the release date, or I should say the potential release date, we have April 25th, and the retail price will be $165. Official images popped up of the Nike Air Max 95 Pink Foam. Now, initially when they dropped in 2020, I believe they were a women's exclusive. And then I heard rumors that they were going to drop in women's sizing this time around. But from what I've seen, and I don't have 100% confirmation on this, I just want to give you the heads up, it appears that these are going to drop in men's sizing this time around. Now, once I have the confirmation, I definitely will make sure to let you guys know. And this pair will feature the big bubble, which is different from the last drop. And I've heard two different release dates. So the first release date I've heard was for April 18th. And that would be the same day that the Neon Air Max 95 is going to drop on the Sneakers app. Now, that might be just for boutiques. But I've also heard that the shoes are going to drop on April 25th. Now, that could be for the Sneakers app. I'm not entirely sure. One thing is for sure is that although this pair is still expected to be on the limited side, there's going to be more pairs available in comparison to the Neon. The Neon, it makes no sense how limited those shoes are. It's an OG, it's a classic. People will want them. I don't expect them to make them a mass GR, but at the same time, there's rumors that there's 10,000 pairs made. I don't know how true that is or not, but that's just really limited for a shoe that shouldn't be that limited. Anyways, I wanted to show off the official images to you guys, get your thoughts. I know there's quite a bit of hype for them, and once I have more information, I definitely will make sure to update you guys. I remember back in, I believe, 2013, Nike Basketball released the Nike KD6 Peanut Butter and Jelly, also known as just PB&J, and people were taking the weirdest images on Instagram. They were taking shots of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich next to them, and then like the bread 11s next to a loaf of bread. It was a really weird era, but a lot of people were really hyped about this shoe. Now, it looks like years later, Jordan Brand is going to borrow the theme, but for this pair, it's going to be a kids exclusive, and it's the Air Jordan 5 Low Peanut Butter and Jelly. Now, for the kids, it's a decent shoe. If they dropped them in adult sizing, I don't think I would wear them, but hey, if you like them, more power to you. Now, the pair features a Pale Ivory, Fusion Red, Desert, and Rush Fuchsia colorway. Now, the upper features an off-white shade done in leather. At least it appears that way. These images aren't the best. And then we have a tan hue on the midsole, which represents peanut butter. Now, on the shark teeth, there's red, which is strawberry jam. And then the outsole, which comes up, is done in purple. It has a translucent outsole, and that's for grape jelly. The Jumpman branding on the tongue and heel is also done in red, and the insoles feature the number 23 with grape and strawberry jelly dripping from it. They also come with a special box. It's done in all brown with the purple Jumpman, and then the paper inside has dripping jelly. Now, as for the release date for this pair, they're scheduled to drop on May 1st. The retail price in grade school sizes is $150, preschool will cost $90, and toddler sizes will cost $75. Official images recently popped up of the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Rookie of the Year, and I'm not going to lie, I forgot about this shoe, and that's because they were supposed to drop in January, and then they were delayed until April. I have no idea why they were delayed, but the release is just around the corner. So the colorway resembles that of the Rookie of the Year Air Jordan 1 High OG that was dropped in 2018. And the shoes are inspired by Michael Jordan's outfit, which he wore to accept the Rookie of the Year trophy. Now they are returning, but in low top form. Now these only appear to be releasing in adult sizing. I haven't seen anything about grade school or below. And although the colorway is nice, I don't know, I just have a feeling that these are going to sit just because there's a lot of good stuff coming out this year, and a lot of us, including myself, need to pick and choose what we're getting. For me, although I like it, I'm probably just going to wait and see if they go on sale. If they don't, oh well, I missed out. But if I can find them on sale, then yeah, I'll definitely pick up a pair. But as for the release date, they're scheduled to drop on April 18th, and the retail price will be $140. This is a shoe that I talked about in my April 2025 release dates video, and it's the Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack TR Bright Cactus. Now, it seems that this release info is kind of going around lately, so again, I wanted to showcase it in the news video because sometimes people skip over the release dates video. And since it's going around, I just wanted to clarify something really quick. The release date on this pair is not 100% confirmed. I stated this in the release dates video, so I'm going to state it again, but they are expected and rumored to drop on April 30th. So if that is the release date, more than likely they're going to drop on Travis Scott's website the day before, if the 30th is locked in. But they are expected to drop, it's just, again, not confirmed. Also, the pair will drop in full family sizing, so the retail price in men's is $200, preschool will cost $90, and toddler sizes will cost $75. We got a release date locked in for the A Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3 for the Love, also known as Diffuse Blue, on the Sneakers app. Now, as most of you know, these have already dropped at A Ma Maniere, which took place on March 29th. Now, a lot of people expected that the shoes would drop on the Sneakers app due to the fact of official images leaking, and typically that is the case, but sometimes there is official images that leak, but the shoes never drop on the app. For those who want to buy on the Sneakers app, they're scheduled to drop on April 15th, and the retail price will be $225. Now, April 15th could potentially be a busy day, and the reason why is what I'm about to talk about next. More rumors are going around, although I will say that this rumor has more potential than a lot of the others that are going around, and that is a potential release date for the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 in Navy. Now, I'm sure everybody knows, but these released on March 18th at skate shops. A lot of people expect a sneakers app drop to take place, and it does make sense that they do. Now, the rumor has been April for a while, but the release date that is going around is for April 15th. Now, they currently are not listed on the sneakers app. However, the other part of this rumor is that they may do exclusive access for this pair. I believe they did that on the Pine Green. So if they do EA, the shoes might not pop up on the sneakers app until the day before or the day of. So it might be last minute, and I really hate when they do exclusive access because 9 times out of 10, I never get EA. I think I did once or twice, but it was a shoe that I didn't want to buy, and I believe most people didn't want to as well. Okay, so the last EA I got, I'm looking at my phone, was for the A Ma Maniere Air Jordan 3, and that was back in August 2024, so maybe some people did want it. I surely didn't, so I definitely passed on that. And then the pair prior to this that I got EA on, which I would have bought if I had known I got it, I didn't find out till like a day later, was the Nike SB Dunk Low City of Style. I would have picked those up had I known. So hopefully they don't do EA, but if they do, good luck to everybody trying to pick up a pair. And like I mentioned, rumored for April 15th, although the second release date I've also heard is April 20th, which is Easter, so I don't know how true that is. And the retail price is $225. I know a lot of people are waiting for this pair to release, including myself, and official images just popped up of the Air Jordan 3 Rare Air. Now, these are without a doubt our best images of the shoes. So that's the real reason why I wanted to showcase them. Now, I'll admit that the leather on these looks really good, but obviously you want to have those in hand. I don't mind the suede instead of elephant print. Typically, I hate that, but I think it looks good. The pair will also feature suede on the tongue. I'm not a huge fan of that, I'm not going to lie. And the eye stays also have suede. Now, the collar, which is done in blue, it looks like it's nubuck. And then, of course, we have Rare Air branding on the insoles. Now, from the official images, this pair will also come with the old school Jordan face box, but it'll be black this time instead of like silver and black. The 4s will come with the same style box. They'll also come with the second set of laces, so you have black in them, but they'll also come with cell. And the unique part about this shoe, what makes them Rare Air, is that the Nike Air on the right heel is backwards. Now, again, I don't know why they did it or what's the reasoning behind it. They could have just done it just to do it, or if there's some sort of story. But if there is a story, when these officially pop up on the sneakers app, I hope there's some sort of description or some information on why they decided to do it. But anyways, the release date is expected for May 30th. Originally rumored for this month, but they have been delayed, and the retail price will be $210. Now we're going to go over some on-feet images, and the first set of photos we're going to talk about is the Air Jordan 3 Pure Money. So more and more images are popping up of this shoe, and of course I like to showcase the on-feet images, and like I mentioned before, these do look on point to the 2007 release. The only difference is the shape and the laces. I feel like the elephant print stands out a bit more in comparison to the OG. Now what's cool about this shoe is that they'll actually feature Pure Money embroidered on the heels, behind the heel tab. As most of you know, the Black Cat Air Jordan 3 was supposed to have Black Cat embroidered. For some reason, they did not include that on the shoes, but they're going to keep it OG with this pair. Now, I never owned the OG, and I asked in the comment section if the Pure and the money sign did kind of pop out from the heel tab, because I didn't know if that was like the OG or not, and somebody did confirm, actually a few people confirmed that it is like the OG. I thought maybe it would be tucked away, but you can kind of see it just above the heel tab. Other than that, everything else pretty much remains the same. They feature white leather throughout. We have silver on the Jumpman branding, as well as the eyelets, and of course elephant print around the toe and heel. And a white midsole and a mostly white rubber outsole. Definitely a nice summer shoe. I'm glad they're dropping them in the summer and not in fall. But as for the release date, this pair is expected to drop on July 5th, and the retail price will be $200. Now, the next set of on-feet photos we have is of the Fragment Union Air Jordan 1 High OG collaboration. Now, this pair is expected to drop spring 2026. If you missed the last video that I went over these shoes, I'll pretty much recap. Now, there was an early sample that was made and that was shown to select individuals, and that pair featured red. It was kind of different. It was a lot different in comparison to this shoe. Apparently, they scrapped that sample, and it looks like they have decided to go with this pair. Now, I'm still not 100% sure if this is going to be the pair to be released. As some of you may know this, I talked about this in the previous video, I did receive a colorway and style code for a shoe in collaboration with Union. It did not mention Fragment, although I do believe that is the Fragment shoe. Now, what hasn't leaked yet is the size tag. I was able to see the size tag of the shoe. Somebody had sent it to me, and the colorway and style code is different from the colorway and style code that I have straight from Nike and Jordan brand. So it's kind of leading me to believe that this could also be an early sample, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is what actually drops. Now, this is a shoe people either like or dislike, and right now I'm kind of leaning towards the dislike side, and the biggest drawback for me is the outsole. I am not a fan of the white outsole. I think if it was black or even blue, it would have been really good. But other than that, the other details are cool. The oversized wings logo, that's dope. The exposed foam tongue is dope. The co-branding throughout, all that is dope. Even the color blocking on the upper. It also looks like the individual who has these early, they look like they're a little too big for him. A lot of creasing going on and wrinkles in the toe box. But I understand it. You got the shoes. You want to do it on feet. Get your IG page some more followers. I totally get it. Now, I'm still waiting for an update if it changes from Union to Fragment on the Nike side of things. And I'm still not going to put out the colorway and the style code until I have that confirmation. Just because what if, and this is a big what if, these wind up not releasing and what is dropping is just a Union collab. So it's just something to think about. Again, that isn't confirmed. I'm just kind of speculating that could be a possibility, because it doesn't make sense from the Nike side of things that Fragment is not listed on this collab. Unless they're trying to throw people off who leak, which is also a possibility. So yeah, it gets a bit weird. Either way, as of now, these are rumored to drop spring 2026. And if and when they do drop, the retail price should be $200. Alright, so we have an update on the Air Jordan 3. Spring is in the air. Shown is a mock-up, but this is an accurate mock-up of what's releasing. Now, when I initially reported about this shoe, I had a different mock-up, and I had to. I was fortunate enough to see the shoes, but I was told not to share an accurate mock-up, so I didn't. So that's why the color blocking on that shoe is very close to the mock-up here. But yes, these are going to be released just like this. Now, initially I heard that these were called Easter, but officially they're being called Spring is in the Air. Now, these will feature a Cell, Jade Aura, Ice Carmine, Muslin, and Iris Whisper colorway. So the biggest difference on the mock-up and actually what's releasing, the elephant print will be green around the toe and heel. Also, the Jumpman on the tongue will feature Ice Carmine, and everything else is pretty much on point. Now, they will come with Nike Air branding on the heel, and a really light shade of blue on the collar and eye stays, as well as part of the midsole, and the midsole itself will be aged, as well as the back heel. Now, as for a release date, this pair is expected to drop spring 2026, and the retail price will be $210. A couple new images popped up of the Air Jordan 3 Seoul 2.0. Now, this comes from BTS member J-Hope. He was seen wearing the pair at Friday's Lakers vs. Warriors game. As well, he snapped a photo to showcase on his Instagram. Now, believe it or not, I'm pretty familiar with BTS, not to a full extent, but my fiance and daughter are big fans of K-pop music. And I'm not going to lie, I actually like a lot of J-Hope's music. I like his new single he put out called Mona Lisa. I never thought I would like their music, but it's not bad. Either way, we have some new images, but with these new images, I'm going to showcase the older photos just so we have a better look at the shoes. Now, I like these a lot. A lot of people said they liked the first release more than these, and I personally like the 2.0 more than the first pair. And for those who don't know, they originally dropped in 2018, and then in 2020, they dropped again, but this time as a women's exclusive. Now, the inspiration comes from South Korea's 1988 Olympic Games, and this pair will feature a white, Sport Royal, Challenge Red, and black colorway. On the left tongue, they'll have the flag of South Korea, which is embroidered, and then on the right, it'll be the Jumpman. Now, the blue design on the ankle is said to be inspired by Korean garments. And of course, they come with Nike Air branding, something I like that Jordan Brand has been placing on non-OG colorways. Now, what a lot of people may not like about this shoe is the age detailing. The midsole is really aged. And even in one of these images, it's really aged as well on the upper. And it could just be due to the lighting. But yeah, the upper does look aged as well. And it also looks like it comes with a velvet liner. I don't know if I like velvet on the liner too much. I feel like my feet will sweat, annoying on the ankle. But overall, these are nice. Now, unfortunately, at the time of recording, I don't know how they're going to be released. If they're going to be an exclusive overseas or if they're going to release in the States. However, when I did receive the information, it was part of the United States releases. I didn't know it was the Seoul 2.0. It was just labeled SP. But of course, things could change. And once I have confirmation, I'll let you guys know. But expected to drop May 15th, and the retail price will be $200. Images popped up of the Air Jordan 4 Cavestone, giving us a first look. Now, we have a few issues with this first look. For one, it looks like Nike went with a different sample. What I saw and what my good friend saw was a lot different than this shoe. For example, the midsole was mainly black, and the overall blocking resembled that of the Travis Scott Air Jordan 4 Friends and Family. Now, the second issue, which might be the biggest issue here, is that the shade used on this shoe is not Cavestone. Cavestone is more of a brown shade. This looks more gray. Now, I'm not saying this pair is fake, but what I'm saying is that the individual used some sort of filter on the shoes to make them appear different, because I'll show an image of an Air Jordan 1 Mid known as Cavestone, and you could see the shade of brown used. That brown is Cavestone. That's how this pair is supposed to look. Now, the shade on this pair is actually closer to Moon Particle, but even then, it's not quite like it. Moon Particle is a lot lighter than this gray-like shade, and I don't see anywhere else on the shoes that have a brown hue. And the color description is Cavestone, Black, and Moon Particle. So Cavestone, since it's first, would be used on the shoes mainly. That would be like the dominant color on the shoe. So I believe that there's a filter on this pair. I could be wrong, but from what I've heard is that this is the updated color blocking. This is the pair they decided to go with. Now, some of the other details includes, of course, Nike Air branding on the heel. That will still stay. But the heel tab also has a smoky translucent finish. As well, the outsole, you can see it kind of come up. That also has a translucent finish. Overall, I'm not mad at the shoes. I think they're dope. I still like the color blocking, but I still feel that eventually we'll get more images and it should be closer to brown. But as for the release date, this pair is expected to drop on September 6th, and the retail price will be $225 since it does have Nike Air. The retail price automatically brings it up to $225. Either way, let me know your thoughts on this shoe down below. We have an update on the Air Jordan 4 Flight Club. Now, the image shown is a mock-up. However, this is an accurate mock-up of what's releasing. Now, the mock-up is very close to the mock-up that Z and I put out. And I'm going to be honest, this is a pair that I did not see. We just kind of got lucky and guessed how they were supposed to look, and we were close. But the biggest difference is that the shoes will have Nike Air on the heel instead of the Jumpman. And that will be done in red. Now also, where it's black on the outsole, we had it as red, but the retail pair will have black. Other than that, I believe everything else is on point. The shoes will feature cell across the upper, black on the winged eyelets, red on the Jumpman on the tongue, and a mostly white midsole. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I believe the inspiration is the Air Jordan Flight Club that you see in the background of the shoes. There was a calendar that was released in 1991. Actually, the image in the background is the calendar from 91, I believe. And the colors used on this calendar resembles that of the shoes. Furthermore, they're labeled Flight Club, which kind of indicates that it could be all tied in. And 1991 is when the Air Jordan 6 dropped. In 2026, Jordan Brand will be celebrating the 35th anniversary of the Air Jordan 6. So I do believe this will be a tribute shoe. Now, the bad news about this, maybe for some, is that since it does have Nike Air, the retail price will go up. So instead of $215, the retail price will be $225. I think these are dope. I like them a lot, and I do plan on grabbing them. And let me know your thoughts down below. A couple days ago, there was an image making the rounds of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma. It was posted by multiple sneaker blogs, big and small, multiple IG accounts, big and small as well, and I've seen quite a few YouTubers with the pair in their thumbnail. Now, everybody had this as a first look at the Air Jordan 11 Gamma. Now, some of you might remember that Z and I, we broke the news that this shoe would be returning in 2025. I was fortunate enough to see the shoes. I've seen a few different pairs of this shoe, actually. None of the images have leaked, and I was told not to share, so I won't be sharing the images. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show a mock-up of what the 2025 pair will look like, plus some images of the prior retro. Now, I'm here to tell you guys that this is a blatant fake. This first look of this pair is 100% fake. I'm not going to show the individual's shoe in here because I said going forward I wouldn't show them anymore, so I'm not going to do it. But the biggest thing that is off is the shape. The shape is really wrong on this shoe, and that is the biggest indicator. And it is kind of sad that all these people are posting the shoes that have a big following, have been around sneakers for years, and they couldn't even tell. It's actually funny because there was a time that I was featuring this individual's photos, and something just seemed off to me. And some of you guys might connect the dots. And the individual who leaked these images hit me up on Instagram. So he watches these videos. And he was making excuses saying, hey, this is this sample, this is that sample, and so forth. And then I heard from a very reliable source that he was actually using fakes. And what 100% did it for me is when he showed off the Air Jordan 5 Fire Red, the one that's coming out with the 23, which was completely different than any of the samples. So everything pretty much connected, and then I heard quite a few other stories about the individual as well, but that could be for a different video. Now, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking at the sample pair of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma, and I could tell you 100% the shape is not like this. Now, it does feature a higher cut patent leather, not like the original drop. As well, the outsoles are not that blue. It's a lighter shade of blue as well. Not extremely lighter, but not this dark also. So unfortunately, that isn't a first look, but we should be getting an actual first look at the shoes soon. Now, the most important part of this video is the release date, which they are currently scheduled to drop on December 13th. Also, the retail price will be $230. I know a lot of you are excited about the Gamma Air Jordan 11, and soon we will actually get a good first look at the shoes. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. I got a really late start on the week. This is Wednesday when this video is going live. For sure, I'm going to drop one more video. I believe on Friday or Saturday, I'm going to do a review of the Air Jordan 11 Low Bread. Now, I might do another news video. It just depends if I get some new stuff in, because I'm waiting for some pretty big stuff from Nike, so hopefully that does happen soon. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave that down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.